Smith, physical therapist here, and I wanted to make this video to clarify some previous assumptions I made about Medicare therapy fraud in my prior videos. So when CMS, or Medicare, however you want to refer to it, looks at numbers on paper and expenses on paper, they were currently seeing a huge expense in therapy. So in their minds, they go, oh my God, these therapists are maxing us out. When in reality, most therapists don't even know reimbursement. They don't even know that their license drove reimbursement. I'm probably one of the only people that actually talks about that and puts out in the public and has helped people understand it. Go ask any therapy student, they don't know. Most practicing therapists don't actually know how much revenue they bring in. So it's kind of crazy how that was the assumption, but again, I can see why that was the assumption. So what was happening and why were all these expenses being put towards therapy? Well, lots of therapists came out of school, lots of them have high student debt or student debt, and they get jobs in skilled nursing facilities or home health because they're higher paying. Then when they say, hey, this patient's done, this patient's kind of at a higher level, this patient's eval only, this patient's done with their cert period, they were told by administrators that they can either lie about the patient's status or lose their job. Now, why would an administrator tell that to somebody? Because the administrator knows about reimbursement, they know about the cash flow process and their respective agencies. So then the therapist is put between a rock and a hard place where they want to be a good person, they don't want to lose their license, they want to protect their license. But if they do the right thing, they're going to be let go and they're told someone else is going to replace them, and they get told that they'll ruin their name in the area and they'll fire them and all this stuff. So you get put in a position where it's like, do the right thing, which would be calling the OIG Medicare office and reporting Medicare fraud, where you will get whistleblower protection. A lot of people don't know about that, but if you actually do report fraud, you get whistleblower protection, and if they recoup money, you get a percentage of that. But a lot of people don't know that. So they get put in this place, and unfortunately, let me go back, due to all the Medicare calls, it takes a long time, sometimes the case gets thrown out and so on, but I do recommend if you see fraud happening, regardless of discipline, you report it, because it's going to be better for patients overall and employees and so on. So anyway, these administrators were telling therapists that you can either do what I say, even if it's wrong and against your clinical judgment, or you can lose your job. So that's when it comes down to, do the right thing, or do I feed my kids? So it gets in this very gray ethical area. Lots of scenarios that actually probably should be discussed in the schools when you think about it. And then therapists kind of checked out and did what they were told. And now, which is ironic, is therapists are suffering the most. If you've seen all my other content, and administrators are fine. And also, what they're doing now, if you watch my other video on PDGM, PDPM, and how the reimbursement works and so on, we'll use PDGM for an example. Administrators know that on average, every 30 days on the back end, they're going to get about $1,700 per patient. However, you throw in endocrine diagnosis, that goes up to $3,000 per patient. So that's the same thing in skilled nursing facility as well. So what we're seeing now is these administrators who were abusing therapists and now let all the therapists go are now abusing nursing and throwing in fake codes that don't belong there, and getting higher payments for less therapy and poor care provided and poor patient outcomes because it's based on coding all these extra medical diagnoses. So, diabetes is endocrine, and they can throw in an orthopedic diagnosis, they can throw in high blood pressure diagnosis, even if the patient doesn't have high blood pressure. And what we're seeing now is skilled nursing facilities are actually getting higher payments. So Medicare is actually losing money when this all was started to save it, because they keep these administrators in power who are abusing the system. The system was gamed for years under therapy. So when you keep these same administrators in power and you don't think they're gonna learn how to game the system with nursing, it's just irresponsible. And I don't know who's running CMS or what's going on, or if it's this administration and so on, but if you wanna solve a problem, you gotta get to the root of it. That's what I do as an evaluating therapist, is we figure out what's going on, we develop a plan of care. If only politicians and other people would think this way, instead of just, again, I'll use a therapy reference, just because you have pain here and here, you gotta check the neck. Just because you're having symptoms somewhere doesn't mean that's what's causing it. So that's actually a great analogy, honestly, because they saw what was going on, but they didn't check the true cause. So that's my clarification on why CMS doesn't understand what was going on with therapy. Hopefully we can get more of this content out there. Therapists, please share your stories, go public with them, go to the media, go so on, because the more public facing we can be with stories like the ones I'm telling, the more people are gonna wake up and call Congress, call whoever and change this, or somebody may just sign it into law, that this was gonna be reversed and so on. So thank you again for watching. I'm Dr. Smith, physical therapist. Hopefully this video was helpful. Subscribe if you want to.